Okay, we're gonna be reviewing a Tozy, I believe. Mr. Beast just destroyed his credibility. I'm pretty certain he's been doing that for a while now.
Destroyed his credibility if this is true, because it looks really bad. And it's safe to say a lot has happened since I recorded my last video going over Dodpack or Dawson's video on Mr. Beast, including my own video was copyright claimed and blocked worldwide. Why? I don't know. It's surprising, as I was really giving the Mr. Beast team the benefit of the doubt in my video. But since I recorded that video, Dogpack allegedly received 2 cease and desists and a whole bunch of texts from various people in the Mr. Beast team plotting against him. And as many of you guys are aware, I despise wealthy people trying to shut down criticism with legal battles, as I've dealt with that personally here on this channel. I was honestly hoping they would come out with an actual response to the illegal lotteries by now, since one of the team members, Chucky, already responded, but not to the most serious allegation of that video, the illegal lotteries, especially when so much of his audience are kids. In my last video, I called that a serious mistake because at the end of the day, I have no idea if Mr. Beast was aware of this practice is illegal or not when he was doing these. But either way, it's a complete disaster that one of the largest YouTube channels at the time was running illegal lotteries with a large kid audience. Essentially, he was caught red-handed committing a crime. And you guys made a great point in my comments in my last video. If Logan Paul was the one doing this, I wouldn't be holding back like I did in my last video. Because while Mr. Beast has helped tons of people with his philanthropy, that doesn't
I think that's been a big problem, is that Mr. Beast has done some good stuff, whereas Logan Paul is just, I mean, he's Logan Paul. Let's just be real here. But like, yeah, I think people are giving him way too much of a pass on this stuff. His practices are predatory and grooming. I don't understand how they're allowed on the website, to be perfectly honest with you. I think it's very weird that it's not age restricted. I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. I feel like it should be. I don't know. But I think he is definitely good. Mr. Beast is only doing good stuff for his image. You know what? I think it's 50-50. I think maybe he is doing good stuff. I do think he's doing some good stuff, of course. But I think acting like it's completely like only for the good of the people would be a little bit too like generous of credit for him. I think you're right. I think it's in the middle though. I think he's doing it because he does want to help, but at the same time, he's going to capitalize off of it. But I think because of that, it just feeds back into him. Like he could easily sit there. People are like, well, he doesn't really make that much money. It goes back into the channel. Yeah, probably because it's the same way as like investing in a house, right? Well, you invest in a house, but you invest in a house so that later maybe the value of it goes up and you can flip it. So he doesn't have to sit there and take all these sponsors or anything like that if he doesn't want to. He can just continue growing the brand and then sell that off in bits and pieces if he won't, and just ride off into the sunset. But yeah, I think people are, but anyway, back to the original thing. Yeah, I think a lot of people are giving him way too much of a pass, mainly because he's so big, mainly because he does good, and also because of the fact that a lot of these people, let's be honest with ourselves, like are clout chasing, and he's the biggest thing on the internet right now.
excuse scummy business practices. I don't think he's done one of these illegal lotteries since late 2021, but I'm thinking, worst case, he knew what he was doing and was hoping since it was a live stream he wouldn't get caught. Another situation could be that he finally grew to a certain size to where someone within his team finally said, wait a minute, this is illegal. And then I guess the last option is he found out that this was illegal from Dawson's call out video, which could explain why the Facebook VOD of the stream was deleted only after Dawson.
So here's the deal with that. Like usually companies, they are supposed to have like a legal department that should be vetting stuff like this so that it doesn't happen. Like there's no reason he's not as big as he is and he doesn't have a legal team or at least a few lawyers who vet some of the stuff that they do around their giveaways. There's no, that's not an excuse. Like you're supposed to go through that for this reason. I kind of no.
Video, but honestly, who knows what happened? So my original guess was they just wanted all this to pass without becoming too big of a thing. But As you know, with YouTubers and cease and desists, they normally end up having massive Streisand effects. And this continued to propel Dogpack's video to 8 million views and beyond as of recording this video. And it's getting to a point where Mr. Beast kind of has to address this, but he might have been legally advised not to, because clearly he has a legal team retained. He did actually address the Chris Tyson stuff, but not this as of this recording. So here's
it's kind of hard to, like, if there's, I mean, it's kind of hard to refute some of it. Maybe they're cooking something up. That's always possible. But some of it is hard to refute.
Dawson's first cease and desist.
So Mr. Beast's legal team did send me a cease and desist, and here's my official response to that.
Okay, so he will not cease nor desist, and it cuts to an edit that I think the legal team I had would have told me is an absolute nightmare. So if this does go to court, it can get real ugly quick. But as we know, lawsuits are public, so that will reveal a lot, especially if it gets to discovery. That in particular is what I think is going to get really interesting with the Logan Paul and CoffeeZilla case. But Dawson also received a second cease and desist. New one, double it and give it to the next person. Right, okay, so here it says cease and desist, final warning. There's no way they put the emoji there. Dear Mr. Dogpack404, this firm, new firm whose white-collar criminal defense practice is second to none, according to their website, has recently been retained by Mr. Beast YouTube LLC, Mr. Beast, or the company and its founder, Jeremy Donaldson, regarding the unsettling news that you've embarked on a campaign to disparage Mr. Beast as a company and defame Jimmy Donaldson as an individual. Not only are your statements about Mr. Beast and Jimmy Donaldson untrue, they also violate the clear binding enforcement terms of your confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement with Mr. Beast dated March 25th, 2024, the NDA agreement, which you have shown in the videos posted to the internet. It goes into a little bit more detail here. Then he also adds that his number apparently has been leaked in this thread. Also, my number's been leaked apparently from a Mr. Beast employee named Kaylee. I've been getting text from a former Mr. Beast employee. Text I received last night claims that James wants to have private investigators start following me and looking into my family's social media accounts for ways to discredit me. Apparently, the best narrative they have as of right now is I'm a crazy drug-addicted Mr. Beast superfan that got fired for trying to steal company funds. If this...
Which, I mean, if they were going to go that route, they should have done that instead of a cease and desist. Character assassinations are effective for a reason. And if they would have just sat there and had a handful of people that they could keep their mouth shut and just flooded the internet with like stuff that would call his character into question, that would have solved itself. You would still have whispers, of course, but that would have been probably a better move instead of trying to put a cease and desist, if this is true.
Text is true, I will say, Mr. Beast, if you want to resort to personal attacks, I'm happy to reciprocate. Or
it's not right, but I'm just saying, if you were trying to get rid of someone who was raising a bunch of fuss, as far as like get rid of them in the sense of like discrediting them, time to be canceled, yeah. It would be easier to like discredit someone through a character assassination than trying to do a gag order because NDA violation.
You know, just address the evidence. And then here he shows some text that says, dude, has anyone at Mr. Beast contacted you about the posts you're making? I've been reading the NDA over to see what I can and can't post because I'd like to move on with my life and try having some type of social media presence, not planning on ever mentioning I worked at Beast, but if I got out, or if someone some way accidentally mentioned it, I wanted to make sure I was going to get sued to all hell. I guess not get sued. Also, if you're going to post my message for proof you worked at Beast, I don't care. Just don't show my number. You can save it how you want. Also, I got your number from Kaylee. I don't have access to anything Beast-like, like Slack or anything. Obviously, I'm not a Beast employee. I'm a former employee. Someone else I know told me they texted you on Reddit talking about Kaylee and Leroy. I'm not that person, and I won't mention any current or former Beast employees because of NDA. And then you have like this like interesting text. Jocelyn, I'm texting you anonymously to let you know that I heard.
So this is interesting because if this is true, that means there's going to be, you're probably going to start see more and more former employees coming out of the woodwork. And depending on how they handle the NDA situation with this one guy, you may see like an avalanche of like stuff coming out. Now, what that is, we don't know if this is true, because it usually takes just that one little like push, and then things just come like rolling downhill real quick. but I think it's going to depend on like how they handle that guy who did the video and how they handle the NDA. Because a lot of these people aren't saying anything because they're afraid. But if they're not going to get attacked for violating the NDA, then what do they care?
James will hire private investigators to start following you and looking into every detail of your life. He wants them to reach out to your former employees, find all your social media accounts, your family's social media accounts, videos of you, anything. They already have a Google Doc listing possible ways to discredit you, including you're on drugs and have mental health problems, your mom is bipolar, you were
The drugs and mental health problems would have fit well with that first like 5 seconds, him looking like a crackhead. But like I said, everyone looks like a crackhead in a hoodie, to be fair.
an obsessed superfan, you were crying begging for your job back after they fired you, you tried to steal company funds, etc. I don't know what's true and what's not, but personally I really think you should take everything down ASAP. If you take it down, they'll leave you alone. He responded, you're trolling what? And then here he kind of shows this video of suddenly they're saying this phone number is no longer in service. Stop. What? Stop. This is creepy. Leave. Okay. That is definitely a very weird response. If that is actually from the Mr. Beast team, that is wild, but it could also be someone trolling. Who knows?
Yeah.
Here he goes a little bit more into depth. On the drug abuse accusations, to be clear, because someone can't tell when I'm joking, I have never been a drug user. Weed makes me anxious. I've tried microdosing shrooms for depression, anxiety for a week over 3 months ago. Honestly, the taste made me feel sick, so I stopped. Wouldn't recommend anyone to use illicit drugs, but I consider myself an advocate for psychedelic research. Don't really care to filter everything I say through lawyers and PR people. Sometimes I say dumb shit. But my video was well researched. I'd obviously rather Mr. Beast just focus on disproving the evidence than trying to publicly destroy my character with baseless drug use and mental health accusations. But it appears that's the only option they have. Also, I literally smoked 500 cigarettes before writing this. And someone goes, what about stealing company funds? Probably this. I asked for the gas reimbursements I was promised and was denied because it wasn't an approved business expense. It was. And I should have just taken a plane. I've heard multiple stories from former Mr. Beast employees not getting proper reimbursements. Anyway, after I sent a business expense request for an Apple Vision Pro, which I was told the company wanted to get everyone. This is when they were new and didn't seem like garbage. I sent the request to the wrong person, even though it was the person HR told me to send it to, but it never got purchased. Even if I had it, would have been owned by the company. So I really didn't see any legit narrative that I tried to steal company funds, as if I was some embezzling mastermind and not just a dude with a $100 limit on his company card. Okay, but speaking of the cease and desist, Caleb Broomfield actually interviewed Dogpack and it allowed us to get some more insight on him and his head during the situation. So here Caleb asked Dawson how he was feeling about the cease and desists.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel nervous or do you feel
I don't know. I
excited?
feel confident.
You feel
Not excited, but
little nervous, a little bit. You got to feel a little. I would be shitting myself if I were you.
no, I'm not myself.
Well, you're
Because it was 100% expected. It was 100% expected.
right. I mean, to be honest, like it's cool to be nervous and not scared though, because like you are coming from the perspective of this is what you believe is truth, and you're doing this out of good faith. Like it doesn't the whole disgruntled employee thing. That's sort of that was my initial response as well. It's like because we've seen so many of these types of things happen.
I have to admit, that's my original thoughts were as
Right. I wonder if the guy has sought legal counsel though. I doubt he has, but maybe he has. I hope he has.
well, but I would absolutely be worried about this lawsuit. As sure, you could be confident that you're going to win, but I wouldn't wish the mental and financial stress of a lawsuit on anyone, because that
Yeah.
would really take a toll on you. And Caleb also asked Dawson if he thinks Jimmy himself is actually at fault here.
If you were to be as fair as you possibly could and even play devil's advocate, what would you say percentage wise? You know, what's Mr. Beast's fault? What is not?
Yeah, no, I actually like play with this idea and speculate a lot. Like, okay, if Jimmy was fully innocent, how could he get into this position? And it'd be like, you know, you hire people who do bad things and then they use those bad things as like blackmail cards against you. So like maybe somebody pressured him really hard into selling fake signatures. And now that they know that he sold fake signatures, it's harder to fire them in case they go to Time Magazine. Like concept called like blackmail inflation. So I don't know. Anything could be possible. Mr. Beast could be completely innocent. I've seen some behaviors and things that make me think that, you know, he's not, like what I told you privately in DMs and everything. But yeah, so I don't know, 50-50. Let's call it 50-50.
If you want to watch Caleb's full interview, I'll be linking it in the description down below. But going back to my old video, it's been blocked worldwide. And the company that did it is Spotter. I've actually been offered a deal by Spotter before, so what a great way to treat a potential client. I know I already said no, but this is definitely not going to change my mind. But this is definitely a weird claim because Spotter, they're a company that buys back catalogs of YouTubers. As YouTubers, they made videos years ago, they're still getting views and thus still making some money. So a company like Spotter, they'll pull up and be like, hey, can I buy portions of your back catalog or all of your videos from, let's say, 2022 and older? And I guess that's what they've done with Mr. Beast, as you can see on their website. But the weird thing is, I would expect them to just claim the revenue from my video, not block it worldwide, because, you know, they're in the business of making money. So why are they not trying to make money off of my video? Instead, they're literally censoring my video. And in my video, I have to admit, I was way too nice to Mr. Beast, as the video was filmed like 2 to 3 days before posting, and Dawson hadn't even received the text and or cease and desist yet. So the whole landscape of the situation has changed a lot.
I think a lot of people initially definitely were on Mr. B's side. And it's understandable also because it's just some rando guy who used to work for him for like a month. He posts a video and he made some good points, but then he made some not so good points. He looked like a crackhead in the beginning. So I can understand why people were like soft at first when it comes to like broaching the subject, but now I don't think there's any excuse. I think there's enough there to say, hey, there's kind of smoke here. So where there's smoke, there's fire. So I think it'd be interesting to see what all comes of this.
Did I nitpick way too much in that video? I would definitely say so, because now after rewatching it, I see he's building a case to show that Mr. Beast has been deceitful in the past.
Yeah.
But so far, Eric, he's handled being called out for faking content way better than Mr. Beast. I don't think Eric really committed a crime though, but still, they were both called out for saying their content is real.
The empire is crumbling. I don't think it is yet. I think that they're in. If I was them, I would be in a little. If there is any validity to any of his claims, I would be in panic mode though. And I sure as hell wouldn't issue a public statement until I got some stuff in order. So I'm wondering if that's what's happening behind the scenes. Like, because the video has blown up. It is huge. So you can't sit there and act like they don't know. They know. And so the question now is, what are they doing behind the scenes? Because they can't keep, I don't think they're going to be able to keep operating the way they have been if this stuff is true, because it's going to cause too many people are going to start coming forward.
And then faking content later on. But Eric didn't send a cease and desist to Soggy Cereal. Anyway, that's about it for now. Hopefully this doesn't go to court. Also, please drop the claim in my video, Spotter. That would really be cool. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
That's a good one.
Oh my god, you disrespect